And you're gonna have a bowl. I have a dowel. If you want a dowel, that's okay too. And I'm gonna spotlight myself for everyone. So your choice if you want to have your cameras on or off. I'm gonna go back to gallery view. There we go. So having something to put in between your thighs. So I've got my inflated slow-mo ball, which is always my preference over a block. I love your pants, thank you. So you choose. It might be a 4-inch block. I've got my slow-mo ball quite inflated. It's about like 80-90% inflation, so I can kind of squish it a little bit. Mine feels like it's got too much air in it, so I'm just gonna pop it out a little bit. That feels a little bit better. And I've got my dowel on my mat. So just putting either your block or your inflated slow-mo ball just on the floor. And then if you're using a ball, put that there. And just take a moment to take a few breaths. Just feeling the breath flowing in the nose and maybe out the mouth. So the quickest way to bring the nervous system back into regulation is doing a pursed lip breath, just that extension of the exhale. Another breath that I use quite a bit when I'm offering to deregulate the nervous system. So if we're feeling a little bit anxious or feeling a little bit stressed, is 2 inhales through the nose, and it's a quicker, and then you purse the lips and you exhale out the mouth. So you might even try that a couple times. 2 inhales through your nose and purse the lips, exhale out the mouth. So what it does is it takes and harnesses that excess energy that's in the body, okay, gathers it up and redirects it. And then that long exhalation, a lot of us know, brings in that toning of the vagus nerve. Sometimes when I'm in awareness of my nervous system, and I have this conscious awareness of what state I'm in, and we're going to be talking about that over the weekend, that I might feel, oh, I'm in a state of stress, or I'm in an awareness of feeling a little bit anxious. And with that, bringing that awareness in, then I bring in those 2 breaths in the nose and I purse the lips. It just allows me to feel a little bit more embodied. And so embodied is taking in our awareness of noticing exteroception, so our senses. What is happening around me? So you might even just look around. Allows us to land and locate in the body. And then feeling the touch of your feet on the floor. You might even lift your toes, spread them. You might even spread the fingers. You might rock a little bit forward, back, left, right. Just noticing, can you feel your feet pushing the floor away? Can you feel your limbs moving in space? So that relationship of your body and space, being aware of your body moving in space, so that proprioception. And then feeling that felt sense of the body. So you might notice temperature, so warmth is felt a little bit deeper into the body. Coolness is felt a little bit more towards the surface of the skin. A sense of belonging, arriving here, Noticing we feel full, any sort of discomfort. Itch is also an interoceptive quality. And I just want you to notice as you reach your arms out to the side, I want you to feel, can you feel this awareness of rooting down through the feet, reaching out through your fingers, reaching up through the head and feeling the ears, and see if you can come in and find this quality of biotensegrity. So feeling your body as a whole unit. Can you feel stable? Can you push the floor away and feel a little rebound coming up the body? Do you feel spacious somewhere? And then as you then pause for a moment, take your awareness and just put something in between the inner thighs. Just remember, as we explore the deep front line, the pushing of the floor away, we can feel that effort of pushing the floor away, and then there's a rebound that comes up through the thighs. So some of us feel that gathering of the inner thighs as we work the base of the deep front line through the feet, the back of the calves coming into the inner thighs, that the ball or the block might feel better in the inner thigh or closer up to the pelvic floor or the inner knees. Sometimes having a shift of where you put that block or the ball can make a really big difference. And then see if you can just exhale and become heavy. So Joy always talked about sinking the chi, softening a little bit so that the weight is dropping down. So this is our apana energy, that downward flow into gravity. And then we start to push the floor away, the ground away. So you feel all your toes, the inner heel, the outer heel, the back of the heel, pressing the ground away. Feel that energy if you can coming up through your ankles, your shin, your inner thighs, gently squeezing that ball or the block. Some of us can even feel as we squeeze it that we can pull the block back and then also lift the ball or the block up towards the belly button. And when you lift up, and you push the floor away, some of you can feel your pubic bone lift, the lower belly draw in, and a little bit of spaciousness and integrity. And then feeling that the pelvis stays in neutral, and so that the rib cage is not coming forward or thrusting forward in front of the pelvis. Sometimes an awareness of gathering the ribs or that SH breath, that shh, really helps to feel the ribs gather and lower down. So it's this awareness of almost like we have little suspenders. You can touch your hip bones with your pinkies and your lower ribs with your thumbs. You can feel this gentle gathering together on the exhale without dropping the heart, feeling open and spacious in the shoulder blades and the collarbone. And see if you can reach a little bit of energy out your ears and the top of your head. And then you can reach your fingers and your arms out to the side and see which fingers maybe need a little bit more awareness of reaching through, maybe the thumb. And then let your elbows just be a tiny bit heavy. So we balance that out. The little bit of in as the elbows are heavy, they soften the shoulders into the socket. And then just reach your arms up and down a couple times. Feel how your body's working together. Might even go to a little side stretch and just sense, how's my fascia sliding and gliding? So all the slide and glide happens in the superficial fascia. Okay, that hyaluronic acid helps the fascia slide, and how much water and hydration we bring into the body. And then release the ball or the block. And we're going to go into one of the tools of the myofascial release, which is called stripping or combing. And so you're going to do this on your feet. So you're going to have one foot rooting down. I want you to try to feel this biotensegrity of the deep front line working through your whole body. So each awareness of coming up from the earth as you choose one foot to press into the floor. You just wait there. Feel the big toe, inner heel. That's your medial arch, lateral arch, pinky toe, outer heel. And then that transverse arch that goes all across the bridge of the foot underneath the toes. Rooting down and seeing if you can allow the leg to just float up. Lifting the lower belly, the pubic bone. Okay, some of you might feel your proprioception of moving the limbs in space. How does this feel for you? And then bringing the foot down, and the stripping goes with along the muscle and the fascia of the foot. So from the toes to the heels. So we're going along the length of the muscle. Here on the feet, most of the muscles in the feet are running vertically from the toes to the heel. A little bit of transverse muscles across the arch, but we're just going to focus more on going from the toe to the heel. So this stripping, my favorite way of kind of using the term of this one is more of a combing action. So if you think of when you have really tight muscles or tight fascia, you're combing out the knots, you're combing and re-lengthening the muscle, re-lengthening and hydrating the fascia. See if you can keep connected to your whole body as you find that awareness of moving and combing through the whole foot. This is really great for releasing any waste products or lactic acid in the muscles. We can feel the fascia start to realign. So when we have a tight short in the fascia, this is a really good tool to use. So take a moment and feel, is there some areas that you can just roll and do that combing? Just going to focus on one technique tonight. And when you're done, just pause and feel the difference of your right foot to your left foot. So interoceptively, when we come out of something, we can then notice how we feel. Is there a sense of safety and grounding coming in on one foot, one side of the body? Maybe you feel a little bit more warmth or spreading. You might feel a little bit more connected. And then just reach up the arm of the side that you rolled. So for me, that was my right. So I'm going to bring my right arm up. My right shoulder doesn't want me to reach all the way up. So I'm just going to reach up and elongate through the tricep and the elbow and press down and just see, is there a difference in the slide and glide of the fascia? And then check in once again on the other side, how it felt. And then you're going to root down through the foot that you just rolled on and wait. Wait until you can feel that pressing of the floor away. The lower belly lifts up. Lower belly feels as the pubic bone. Sometimes that's a really good cue of the pubic bone lifting. The lower belly draws in and the ribs gather in and lower down just a little bit. You can feel as you keep pressing the floor away, then the leg and the limbs start to float up. And explore your proprioception, how the limbs are moving in space. And then start to foot roll, just doing that, stripping that combing action from the toes to the heel. Remember, this is a really good one if you have a tight short in the fascia. A lot of the time in the sole of the foot, we do have more of a tight short, a bunching and adhesion in the fascia. If you can kind of think of, you're combing out, you're releasing that tension releasing any waste that's built up in the muscles or the fascia. Bringing back, hi sweetie, bringing back to that beautiful triangular diamond shape of the fascial pattern, re-lengthening the muscle. Yes, okay. My little assistant is here. This is Squeaker. And you might even roll a little bit more on the lateral side of the arch, so the pinky toe to the outer heel. You might slow it down. If you always go fast in that combing action, maybe you go slower. So you can feel how you're releasing the liquid, the fluid that's in the fascia. And as you kind of go along and you're doing that combing action, it's squeezing any stagnation out or old fluid that hasn't been moving, and then it rehydrates it. I'm also going on the big toe side to my inner heel, so that's your medial arch. See how that affects you myofascially up the body. And you'll know when you're ready, you'll just stand and pause. You might even let your palms turn forward. For me, when I feel a little bit more fluid, I tend to have a little sway or movement. You might be flowing in stillness. You might go back to that second side and just see if the fluidity, the slide and glide has changed. You might even feel you want to go into a forward fold, just allowing that rooting down through the feet. Let the energy come up the thighs. Let the pelvis lead you forward into the fold. You might come down part way. Sometimes it's a fun exploration to bend the knees and just put my hands on the thighs. And then notice, can I widen the ischial tuberosity, the sit bones? Can I reach them back? Can I lift the pubic bone to draw the lower belly in? Can I gather the ribs? Can you let the energy reach out through the top of the head, the ears? And sometimes with that full body connection of the deep front line, you'll feel your arms just start to release. And that inner integrity creates that softness. We can do a little mortar and pestle too, just letting the arms circle. Let the fingers be soft and open and spacious. Remember that connectivity of spacious hand moves up through a spacious arm, shoulder, chest, shoulder blade. Some of you may want to go into a deeper forward fold. Let that fold transfer through the lower back, middle back, upper back, neck, head. And then root to rise to come up. So take a moment, just pause, find yourself being heavy, start to press the floor away. And as you press the floor away, feel the energy start to rise up through the legs, lifting the pubic bone, gathering the ribs, letting yourself uncoil all the way up. Reach the arms up or not. I'm just going to move my dowel just a little bit away. I just want you to do some swinging twists. And just notice when you swing, sometimes I'll see a little bit of movement like this in the swinging, where the lower body is not moving as much and just the upper body. And so a really good way to feel biotensegrity is you can feel, okay, you can notice the axial rotation in the upper body. But when we reach our arms over to the left, we can let our right foot come up and then drop down, and then the opposite. When the arms go to the right, the left foot comes up and the arms go to the left. Another way, so just feeling opposite foot lifting as you're going the opposite direction. You can do a little bit of tapping here. So when we tap, we connect into the mechanoreceptors, specifically the Pacinian. Julie will talk more about this one tomorrow. But whenever we create vibration, mechanoreceptors will notice this movement. And right now, as we're doing movement through the body, having that vibration gives us a little bit more of a proprioceptive awareness. You can feel a release of tension. Also have a bit more awareness over our motor ability of the body and the muscles. So once you slow it down, just take a moment to feel, has anything shifted for you? Feel a little bit more aware of your body and space. So shift in your breath, the temperature of your body. Do you feel fluid and adaptable, connected, but spacious?